Hi, it's me. I feel very guilty. It's been a while. So we're gonna do a little update. I know you're like, oh, I waited all this time and she's posting an update, but you deserve an update. The first being that who's been an absolute gremlin and I wouldn't call it deadline hell, but like deadline muddle. I'm in such a weird place on the book I'm drafting currently. Like I'm simultaneously a total hot mess. It's very chaotic, but I have absolute confidence that it's gonna be a great book, but it is not a great book right now. And so I have not been successfully vlogging, which is why you haven't gotten the writing vlogs that I promised you would get. And you're really not gonna get one. So this is gonna serve as the next best thing writing update, life update, channel update, question mark. Being frank, I have really been enjoying my YouTube break. And if you follow me on TikTok, you know where I've gone. I'm on TikTok now, and I really like TikTok. The good news is that means I'm definitely percolating on a video about TikTok and kind of like, not so much YouTube versus TikTok, but why people are flocking to TikTok, my thoughts about TikTok, kind of how to do TikTok. I'm not an expert, but I am getting a hang of it, kind of. And I definitely have thoughts about author talk specifically and how authors are using TikTok so that there will be a YouTube video. YouTube remains an appropriate and wonderful forum for long form content, but it has been an interesting and fun challenge for me to attempt short form content. I'm also really enjoying, and I'll talk about it more in a video about TikTok, the candidness of TikTok and the opportunity that you have to show additional sides of yourself. I have been enjoying giving y'all a slightly better taste of some of my sense of humor. I'm enjoying the trends. Some of them, others really intimidate me, but I'm having fun with it. And here and there, I'm like really candid. I'm still a really private person, but I'm definitely enjoying TikTok, which shocks me. But I'm also currently, like I've been doing it for the past 2 weeks, slightly detoxing myself off TikTok because man, is it a time suck. The miracle is I have been able to balance it with writing my next book, but I am behind on my deadline. I'm as rambly and chaotic as usual. This doesn't have an outline, that's why. Book update, writing update. So I'm a little more than halfway through the first draft of The Bitter End, which is my next YA thriller. It is really hard to write. I knew that it would be hard to write. It is my first multi-POV since being published. I wrote a duel years ago, pre-publication. Multi is a whole other can of worms, but also I'm doing multi at a very different level now and with different purpose. This is a thriller. I have to balance the multi with tension, having a chat with my editor. It's also now multi-timeline because I hate myself. It's gonna work. We're gonna figure it out. I think it's gonna make the book really, really interesting. It's not completely multi-timeline. There is a past timeline being woven through the narrative to interesting effect. I'm really excited about it. And it's been really interesting. This is one, I think because I've had large casts of characters before. Pretty Dead Queens has a lot of characters, but this, because it's multi-POV and both a small cast but large cast. It's a small cast, but they're all in one place and they're all really, really important. So I have to deeply get to know and understand 8 characters. And that is a lot. Like usually at best, you have to really deeply understand like their entire life history of this fictional character and all their wants and all their needs and all their personality quirks and how they talk and think. You don't have to know that for every single character in your book, but this is an isolation trope thriller. We are spending a lot of time with these characters and we both have to care about them in some measure, understand them in some measure, and then either be sad or not sad when they die. You have to question who the killer is. It's a lot to balance and I'm still figuring out exactly who these characters are. Or I have been figuring out exactly who these characters are. I really think I'm pretty much there, but I'm at the middle of the book and it's just been a really interesting exercise. That's why I have absolute confidence. It's gonna be great when it's done. It's not done. I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing work, but I'm really excited for that editing work. But this book, more than a lot of my other drafts, This first draft, is plot. This book is very plotty. It's an exciting plot, and I'm getting it down slowly but surely. But my original deadline was August 1st, and I have an extension already. I warned my editor early I needed more time. But I am chugging along. I'm enjoying the process as much as I'm not enjoying the process, but I have been garbage at vlogging it. I have been making TikToks this entire time. I'm so sorry. So sorry. So like, follow me on TikTok because I have posted occasional kind of mini writing updates, the kind of updates you would be accustomed to seeing in my writing vlogs, but I've done them as 3 minutes or less, micro updates about challenges I'm encountering while drafting this thriller. So that's been interesting. Otherwise, I do have some outlines, things that I want to film for this YouTube channel, long, promised things. Am I still reading mountaineering nonfiction? Yes. I was like, I'll make it around 15. I need to finish this book before I make that video. And then I discovered 3 more books. I add them to my TBR, to my library holds. Still reading. I'm still enjoying reading all of these. So at one point, y'all are gonna get like a mega video on every single mountaineering nonfiction book I have read basically in the last year. I'm gonna categorize them. I'm gonna tell you what I think about them. I'm gonna give you recommendations, and it's going to be amazing, but I'm still working on that. I'm gonna make a video about TikTok, as I said, and I've got a couple others percolating. But also, I finally completed the IRL thing that I talked about in my very beginning of the year update that kind of precipitated this YouTube break or YouTube kind of shift in schedule that I've been on. It's finally actually done. So I sold my mom's condo in March, which I shared in my last update. And this past weekend, I finally, at long last, went to Atlanta and I got the last of my stuff into storage. It was like, it's like the emotional dam has broken. I'm both glad I waited 3 years because it gave me kind of the grieving time and emotional distance that I didn't break down doing this. I didn't enjoy doing this. It definitely felt like the end of something. It was definitely a little bit weird, but I had friends who helped me through it, and it is done. I mean, now I have to pay for monthly storage and have to think about where am I gonna put all this. Those are separate anxieties for a later time. I definitely feel like there is a weight off my shoulder. It's a door that is closed and I'm stepping on to the other side of that door. And I feel like now I can look forward to a whole bunch of different things, get things off my checklist, put new things onto them. Oh, here's a life update. I cracked another tooth. You remember last year I cracked a tooth? I cracked another tooth. We definitely have a problem. I use an industrial strength mouth guard, by the way. Like, I'm a very stressed person, apparently. So I have to have dental work done to fix that. Super fun times. Why is adulting so hard? So I'm doing that. I am in full excited, ramping up gear for the Pretty Dead Queens release in October. I'm really looking forward to this book release. I am having my first in-person book launch in 4 years. 4.5 years, actually, because the one and only time I had a book launch, an in-person book launch, was Brightly Burning in 2018. And I'm gonna have one in October 2022 for Pretty Dead Queens. I'm gonna allow myself to celebrate in a way that I wasn't up to with The Stars We Steal. Then a pandemic happened. And with the Ivies, I was really happy to do an amazing virtual launch with Blue Willow Books in Houston, but I am really excited to do an in-person one again. I'm gonna have the details for that really, really soon, but I'm allowing myself to look forward to that. I am also allowing myself to look forward to a mini book tour. I'm like doing the planning thing. It's all very tentative right now, but I'm talking with an author who I really, really love. And it's not a nationwide book tour. It's nothing fancy. It's something that we're coordinating ourselves, but we have some great ideas. There will be some virtual stops on it, but some great in-person bookstores. Lots of California, just warning you ahead of time because both of our books are set in California. So we're gonna definitely do like a grand California tour, but a couple of other stops as well. And I'm just looking forward to it. And also reminding myself, You can't have all this fun stuff without finishing your next book first. Whew, cart before horse. To that end, I'm going on a writing retreat in a few weeks with some other author, writer friends from YouTube, which I'm really looking forward to. You know I love weather. I'm going somewhere with trees. It's gonna be really, really great. And maybe if I'm a good girl, I'll actually vlog that. Maybe I will vlog that. Maybe. We'll see. I'll definitely post TikToks. I still love YouTube, I promise. Your sneak peek of my thoughts on TikTok. The editing tools are excellent for TikTok, and there's definitely an ease of access thing, and I think that's why it's really taken off with authors in particular, because there's definitely a barrier to entry with YouTube in terms of having the equipment, the editing software, and kind of it's a barrier to entry for a lot of people, including the long form nature of YouTube. So I'm definitely enjoying the ease of TikTok editing tools. It's really, really interesting. It's great for kind of spur of the moment stuff that you can just do on your phone. One last exciting thing related to Pretty Dead Queens. If you do want to get yourself a signed hardcover of Pretty Dead Queens, I'm really excited. I am partnering with Romans, which is an indie bookstore here in Southern California in Pasadena, for signed pre-orders. If you pre-order from Romans Bookstore, I will sign your copy. I can personalize it with your name, no additional personalization, but you can get a personalized signed copy of Pretty Dead Queens if you pre-order it from Romans. It's not up on the Romans website yet, but if it's up by the time I post this video, the link will be down below or added later as soon as it is available, and I will post it to all of my socials as well, so you won't miss it. Don't worry, I will be reminding you about this. I'm really excited. This is something like, I should have done this before, but I'm very, very glad to be able to partner with Romans to do it for Pretty Dead Queens. I'm just really excited about this book release, even though I'm really nervous about this book release. Pretty Dead Queens is just such a different book to the Ivies. I'm very proud of it. I think in many ways it's a better book than the Ivies, but tonally and pacing wise it is different. I think they're gonna satisfy slightly different readership. Am I low-key terrified for things like my trade reviews? Yes, but I am excited to have a relatively normal book release for this book release cycle, and it's something to look forward to, and that includes being able to sign pre-orders. So cool. So that's really the update. It's like, hey, I've been writing this book, I haven't been vlogging, but it's both going terribly and well at the same time. I really am confident, but I'm also a mess. Oh God, that should have been my yearbook quote. That's me in a nutshell. Confident, but also a mess. That's some 2022 energy as well. I've got the worst of my RL stress behind me. There's a lot of good things to look forward to on the horizon. Excited for the latter half of 2022. I promise I will make some more YouTube videos soon. Like, there's one that I've been meaning to film for literally 6 weeks and I haven't, and I apologize for that, but I'm going to try to be better about maybe posting 1 to 2 YouTube videos a month, as per earlier promises, trying to make them meaty videos that are worth waiting for. I hope you all are doing really, really well. Thank you so much for your patience with me. Like, a lot of you have been really sweet on various social media, like checking in on me and saying that you miss my videos, and thank you so much. I just need to get back into like a groove. We're never going back to 3 times a week, but I do need to kind of balance. I mean, I am now someone who has a YouTube and a TikTok, and I'm gonna figure out how to balance both platforms. What a weird world that we live in. Never say never is the rule that we're gonna get from this. So I hope you're doing well, and as always guys, happy writing.